Oh man. Um, let's do this here, and let's go with Milk Bar here and break this down.
Twitter
Milk
users pointed
bar.
out a very strange tweet that Josh Hammer hit send on 16 hours before Charlie Kirk was assassinated. For no apparent reason at all, he retweeted something that President Donald Trump had sent a full 12 years ago about public executions. Here it is. Here is that retweet. Now, what is the justification for this? There might be one. I tried in earnest to at first rationalize it, right? What could have been going on that Josh Hammer decided to dig through the 2013 Twitter archives and retweet someone calling for a public execution? Would we trust if Josh came out and said that tweet was definitely about Irina? Other people pulled Trump tweets. Some did pulled that very tweet and called for a public execution.
Look at this. Now, as I just showed, it took me a very, very short time to see the context of Josh Hammer's quote tweeting of this old Donald Trump tweet. Here's Milk Bar TV doing the work for us and going through so many people quote tweeting the very same thing on the very same day. It goes so fast. There are too many of them. So Josh Hammer did what thousands of people did that day and quote tweeted an old Donald Trump tweet. She calls herself a journalist and didn't notice this. Milk Bar here, who is not a trained journalist, who's an amateur, filmmaker at this point.
Let me put it this way. He doesn't have like Candace probably has 5 or 10 people working for her to do her research and stuff like this. Milk Bar is just Milk Bar. And this is how quickly he finds hundreds of people retweeting Trump's tweet from 2013, and she can't possibly find a motive. And then she even says, which is crazy. She's like, I tried in earnest. I couldn't find any reason for him to do this, even though tons and tons and tons of people were doing the exact same thing on that exact same day. And then 12 minutes later, but would we even believe Josh Hammer if he said, no, I was tweeting it about the thing everyone else was using it for? No, she won't believe him. She won't believe him.
Now, there are two explanations here. Explanation one is she really didn't see that lots of people were quote tweeting this old tweet, not just Josh Hammer. So she's an absolutely horrible, terrible journalist who also then comes to her conclusion that nobody else did it except Josh Hammer. Therefore, she then puts out this completely half-ass idiotic journalism and should not be trusted by anybody. That's explanation number one. Explanation number two is that she is fully aware that a lot of people quote tweeted this old Donald Trump tweet, but she just ignored that piece of evidence and lied to pretend that Josh Hammer is the only one who quote tweeted this on that day, which is what makes it all suspicious. In that case, she's an evil, dishonest liar who actually is so bad that she will happily put out a false narrative that might as well get people killed. So she's either so irresponsible and incompetent that she puts out dangerously false information, or she's just pure evil and dishonest and endangers people. Which option do you guys want to pick? Especially Candace Owens fans. Which option do you want to pick? Is she a liar or is she completely incompetent? It's up to you now.
Yo. And here's what really sucks, right? So she streamed this yesterday, titled Charlie's Final Hours. What else is Josh Hammer lying about? And so, I mean, on the thumbnail as the evidence, she's got his tweet, his quote tweet of Donald Trump. That's the evidence she has it on. That's the evidence she has on the screen. Here's the thing. 1.8 million views so far. So what's it going to get? 2.5, 3, something like that. You're talking millions of people watching Candace say, it just doesn't make any sense. Oh my goodness. He tweeted the day before Charlie Kirk was publicly executed that he supports public executions. This was right after he threatened Charlie, and Charlie was terrified and going around saying, they're going to kill me. They're going to kill me. And then he gets to campus, and then he gets blown away. Here's the thing. So millions of people will see Candace seeing that. Josh Hammer has responded in video and on X. How many of Candace's millions of viewers are actually going to see Josh Hammer's response? And even if they do, how many of those will believe him when he says, she's already said it. Are we going to believe him if he says, no, I was actually talking about the public execution of guys who murder girls on trains?
You don't even have to speculate. You don't even have to speculate. So here's Josh Hammer is actually on Newsweek. He made a video responding to this today and explained everything. If you go into the comments section, the comment section is, I think her main point was the fact that he plugged your book not once but twice in interviews, the tales of Charlie's death, which is really disgusting. Check yourself. You're still mentioning your book. Wow, bro, sound like a villain. Josh, she has never said or implied you killed Charlie. She actually has. Maybe that's your victim mentality talking. There is no truth in you. He literally did what I'm doing here in a more extensive way and explained how much she lied about him. But the comment section storms the place and does not believe him and calls him a liar. So here's the thing, guys. If tomorrow something happened to Josh because of this, Candace Owens would be in huge trouble, legally speaking. And even at this point, if nothing happens to Josh, Candace should be in huge trouble, which is why I am in contact with Josh. I talked to him in the past. He interviewed me. I would like to. I'm gonna ask him as well to look into suing her on this, because this goes too far. This is no longer just lying or dishonesty or just doing things for attention. This goes too far.
Hey, you should tell that Josh Hammer dude to join us for a live stream. We'll go through all the evidence.
I asked him earlier if he wants to join. He said he's too drained and too tired after this whole day, but he sent me a few things to mention if I need to. So
yeah, guys, so think about this. Candace accused this dude, implied that he's involved based on him tweeting his support for public executions the day before Charlie Kirk was killed. And then she ties this all together, and Josh Hammer's threatening him, and Charlie knows he's going to be killed, and all this stuff. Complete, insane, deranged nonsense. But you can never do away with the accusation. You see, keep in mind, how can Josh Hammer prove to a Candace fan that he had nothing to do with this? There's no way he can prove it. There's no evidence he could give. None. Any evidence he could possibly give is fake, and it's exactly what we would expect from someone who conspired to kill Charlie.
The funny thing is, I'm pretty sure that Josh Hammer is, let me see. Hammer graduated from Duke University in 2011 with a Bachelor of Science degree in economics. After graduating, he worked in antitrust research. He later earned his JD degree, law, from University of Chicago Law School in 2016. In law school, he was active in the Federalist Society. He has also been a fellow, so he studied law.
He knows what someone can be sued for.
He worked at a law firm before and so on.
Well, he's Jewish, right?
Yeah, I think that answers the question. Somebody said, is Josh Hammer Jewish? So yeah, he is a lawyer.
I just said that.
Of course he's Jewish. Why else do you think Candace Owens has an obsession with him and accuses him of things? So look at this. Here are the so many tweets that are. Just watch this second again here.
Trump tweets, some pulled that very tweet and called for a public execution. first time that he tweeted about a public execution was back in 2013. And he said it in reference, in 2022. And he said it in reference to the Boston Marathon bombing terrorist account. The Uvalde shooter. And I can tell you that it is not something.
Wait, what?
What? Yeah, there's something weird going on with whatever they're putting on her screen, because she says the first time Josh Hammer ever tweets about public executions was in 2022 about this shooter, but she misspeaks and says the Boston Marathon bomber, which would be correct, and that was 2019.
This is weird.
Somehow there's some wires crossed, right? She's getting the right tweet, but the wrong date, and then she's getting the date from a different tweet. There's something.
Then they're putting it on the screen. This is her screen. How is this happening?
And he said it in reference, in 2022. And he said it in reference to the Boston Marathon bombing terrorist account. The Uvalde shooter.
Okay, I'm not sure what exactly is happening with whoever is putting this stuff on her screen, but anyway. So hang on. Josh Hammer did talk about public execution before.
Mm-hmm.
So he did call for public execution before for certain crimes.
And by the way, it's not just Josh Hammer, it's Trump, and it's a ton of people. Whenever there's someone who's like a terrorist or something like that, or a school shooter, or someone who murders someone on a train, you start getting, hey, we need to bring back public executions. It's a common thing. Candace seems to have no idea about it, and yet she's reporting on it while pointing out that there could be no other explanation for why this guy would tweet his support for public executions. There's no possible explanation. She tried. She even says, I tried to find one. I couldn't.
All right. And I can tell you that it is not something that Josh Hammer regularly tweets about. Rather than say what he definitely meant or what he didn't mean, I decided to just create a micro timeline of Josh Hammer's tweets the day before Charlie Kirk's assassination. This is what Josh Hammer tweeted. He tweeted a total of 9 times on September 9th, and you can gather what was going on at that day from his tweets. This 3-hour break, maybe this is a 3-hour break where he speaks to Charlie Kirk.
This is very funny. So a Milk Bar is highlighting this part here, but you see what this looks like. So Candace Owens actually sits down here and actually puts down a timeline of Josh Hammer's tweets on September 9th, right? To then somehow imply that he out of nowhere tweeted about public execution. Out of nowhere. Why would he do that? The funny thing is, as Milk Bar pointed out here, in the morning here, Josh Hammer already talked about Irina Zarutska, the Ukrainian woman who was killed by that monster.
Mm-hmm.
So he was talking about this topic actively. And at the end of it, he also posted about public execution for the murder of Irina Zarutska. And she acts like it has nothing to do with that at all. She acts like this is just out of nowhere. He just randomly posts something about public execution. Is he trying to say that Charlie Kirk is going to be publicly executed? No, it's related to the topic he talked about.
And then she's talking about the 3-hour break. Is this when he was threatening Charlie? Is this when he's saying, Charlie, you're a dead man unless you do what we say? And then right after that, as a warning to Charlie, he sends out his tweet in support of public executions as a message to Charlie that you're going to be dead tomorrow. You're going to be publicly executed for turning against Israel.
This is just so messed up. I mean, it is a legal thing on the one hand, but it is also a complete moral sickness on the other hand. She actually sits down and without a single shred of evidence, just because she really wants to, she sits down and starts accusing a random person whom Charlie Kirk trusted enough, more than her, by the way, whom Charlie Kirk trusted enough to have in his own group chat to vent and to share things with and to take advice from, of having something to do with his murder. And then she actually puts down a timeline of his day to imply that he may have had something to do with his murder. This is what she does. There is such evil and such sickness in her behavior. She could do this to literally anybody. if they're Jewish.
And then at 9:09 p.m., again, we're talking Eastern, Josh Hammer tweets in favor of public execution, and there's no context that is provided.
The context is directly Irina Zarutska. That's it. Absolute whore.
So anybody telling you he for sure meant this, we cannot know that. We cannot know Josh Hammer's thoughts.
So what does she do instead of saying, "Oh, we can't know that it was about her, therefore it might have been about Charlie Kirk"? Are you freaking insane?
And so she leaves out the retweets. She leaves out the retweets where he was that provide the missing context that she left out deliberately. He was stuck. So, guys, his 2 retweets right before his tweet in favor of public executions. His 2 retweets were about Irana. This is awful, dude.
Like, she is,
and you know, if she's a freaking idiot and an evil scumbag or completely insane, that's one thing. But like, what does it say about the level of stupidity in the world that her followers just mindlessly go along with anything she says when this is how she does research? And that, oh, not to mention, you know, dreams and so on. I got a dream.
I have a dream. She also talks about him. She calls him a Pharisee, which of course has nothing to do with him being Jewish. And so on, man. It's just, this is vile behavior. This is evil behavior. I want to highlight one thing. One super chat that I found was quite nice that I just saw, that I put on the screen earlier. What did I do with that? Vilas Boas. Where's your super chat? Did I put that away? Groypers must hate Romans chapter 9 till 11. This is the funny thing. Before I decided to become a Christian, and I was much more interested in Judaism, that was a time when I read Romans, the entire book of Romans, and I came across Romans 9 through 11, and I loved it. I really loved it. And I thought, I wish I had heard of this before. I wish I had heard of this epistle before. I wish I wish I had heard of this whole part about the Jews before, because it's beautiful, and it's in no way compatible with these gropers and these other Jew-hating people, where Paul himself directly expresses his love for the Jews, even those who don't believe, and says, I wish I could have cut off my own salvation for their sake, and so on. Would really recommend everybody to read or reread that. Hating people and being obsessed with them is a sickness, and Candace Owens says that's sickness. Felix says the only reason Candace Owens talks so big and crazy is because she has a rich husband. Looks like it.
Hey. I just literally sent myself something about that. How do I share a picture? Do I click present?
Yeah.
How do I put a picture on the screen? I click present,
and then you just find it.
Hold up.
Yak said, based on the text about Charlie's alleged shift on his Israel stance, the fact that it was over losing a Jewish donor proves that his alleged shift was over money, not principles.
Here you go.
And there clearly was no shift. It was just a moment of venting. That's it.
Hey, I just shared a picture, man. Put that on the screen.
This is it.
This is tied to her husband, huh?
Oh, and wait. Here.
Right there. Look at this. Look at this. What an odd thing to say. This is her most recent short that popped up on my feed when I went to her channel. Look, what an odd thing to say. This is Candace, and the title is Farmers Having Something with Sheep. Now, AP, what is the entire family of her husband and her in-laws? What's their names?
Farmer.
Farmers. Wait a minute. What an odd thing to say. Oh, she put it right on the screen. What an odd thing to say. Is this Candace's way of letting us know that her husband and his dad, and who knows how many other farmers out there, are having sex with sheep? Is this her way of doing it? Oh my goodness, it's right here. She's announcing it to the world that her husband and his entire bloodline have sex with sheep. How clear could she possibly make it for the entire world to know that her husband has sex with sheep? She's announcing it to the world. Congratulations. See, I'm learning from Candace. I'm doing research exactly like Candace does.
Here's the name of her husband, George Farmer.
Farmer. Wait a minute. Her husband's name's George Farmer, and then she posts a short about farmers having sex with sheep.
Was she trying to tell us that his family is engaged in bestiality?
What an odd thing to say.
What a weird thing to post. No context.
Don't worry, Candace. We got you. We understand what you're trying to tell us. Other people wouldn't have seen it, but we've sort of learned from the Candace Owens School of Journalism how to read read these sorts of things. So we know exactly what's going on. And we will, you farmers out there, just so you know, we will get justice for those sheep that you're banging.
That was pretty good, man.
We're the heroes. We're the heroes of sheep.
Did you just randomly encounter that, or?
No, I went over to her page to see how many people watched the one from yesterday, and then right below that is latest shorts from Candace Owens, and that was the most recent one. It's about her husband banging sheep.
Wow, man. So there you go. Apparently there is a bestiality issue going on.
Oh, I wasn't planning on doing anything with that, but your reaction tells me that's gold. So I'm about to tweet that. I'm about to tweet that.
You know what you should do? You should make a video about it.
Yeah. Okay.
And why would she tweet that? Why would she post that?